So we were able to make our base arm, but now we need a center base to Boolean everything together onto. Let's work with that in the video today. So to make our chair arm, let's start by sketching, and I can choose either the XY plane or the ZY plane. I'll choose the XY here. And let's go through a new option that we haven't gone through before, and that'll be inserting these shapes. I'm going to go with an oblong shape, which is sometimes referred to as a slot shape, but as you can see, there's a good variety to select from here. So let's go with oblong shape, and here I have the option to dimension my X values, my Y values, and my A values. So my X value, I'll go with 2.2. My Y value, I'll go with 0.2, and my angle will be 0. I also have this option to pattern, right? So if I choose this sort of grid pattern, then it creates this pattern for me, and quite easily I can adjust the parameters of the pattern. So this is an alternative to using a basic sketch pattern as well. I can also up the number of elements. And this is a pretty easy way to have large patterns with less computational impact. But I, of course, want one shape, and I'll have my anchor be in the middle. I also retain the option to put the anchor in, say, a corner. But I think in most cases, the middle is the easiest. So I'll choose coincident and simply make sure that my shape is right on my origin and we're fully defined. So that's how it can work with oblong shapes. Instead of trying to sketch two arcs and two more lines and doing all the constraints between them, oblong shapes can be a little bit of an effort saver. Now I'd like to take this profile and sweep it down a path that would look like an office chair arm. So I'll select this plane, activate a sketch, and I'll create a line. Now I'll choose a tangent arc and another line. I'll make sure that we are tangent here as well. And then another tangent arc. And then another tangent arc. I'll take the center point of my tangent arc here and make it vertical with its endpoint so that we know that we end tangent to horizontal, and finally make my endpoint vertical on my origin, just like that. So I can start to dimension these things. I'll put a dimension right on that vertical axis and make a 10-degree angle. I'll give this a radius of 3. Give this a radius of 1.5. This will be a radius of 20. And then from here to here, I'll give this a distance of 6.5 horizontally. And then this very top point back to the origin, we'll go with a vertical distance of 12. And that looks like about right for half of an office armchair. So I can either mirror this sketch, or I can leave it as is. And I can run a sweep. I can go from here to this path, just like that, and then mirror across this plane. And that will create an arm, no problem. But the other method, which I'll run through real quick, is to mirror. And I can select my sketch elements to mirror here. I can choose my axis there. And now, when I exit my sketch, we simply sweep all the way around. So either method works. Again, this goes back to design intent, where you can make the same thing in a lot of ways. Choose what works best for you and what will be easiest for you to change in the future if you need to make changes. Next, go on my YZ plane. I'll make 2 circles because we'll need to attach our arm to the chair. So these circles will help to facilitate that. First, and actually I'll go with a symmetric constraint. We'll choose our center axis and the body of both of our circles. Now I can make a tangent relation, and I'll choose this axis and my arc body. We'll give our circle a diameter. I'll say 0.75. And we're going to say 6.5. Deactivate. And I'll extrude. Go with mid-plane. I'll say 2.2. I want to add a fillet, and you can always simulate welds pretty easily with fillets, but we'll say that these are welded on, and we'll simulate that at a 0.2 inch fillet. Just like that. Finally, I'll probably want to add a hole. So we'll close this, we'll go to hole. Of course, it brings up our hole interface. We can add, this is my plane, and I'll add a hole here and there. We'll choose concentric, and we'll make this point and that concentric, as well as this point and that. Now we'll want to make sure that we are counterbore, and I'll alter my dimensions to be 0.4, 0.25, and 0.26. Just like that. So we'll call that our office chair arm, and maybe we can alter our part color if we'd wish. Maybe I'll make it a little bit dark. And that's how we do it. Let's continue the office chair in the next videos.